and record this. A moment, guys. All right, and I should now be sharing my screen. So let me actually test this out on my phone. And if there are any questions or comments, definitely feel free to go ahead and use the Q&A. Looks like it should be on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're logging in on a mobile device, it might be down at the bottom. But anyway, guys, once again, this is Senior Vice President Ricardo Suber. Want to welcome everybody on to today's webinar. Today is Sunday, October 23rd, 2016. And let's see. Okay, good. So my sound does work. All right, and so what I wanted to do in this webinar, I'm going to keep it very, very simple and basic, but I do want to hammer home on some fundamentals, and then, of course, address a lot of questions. So we have several new folks on the team, so I wanted to make sure that we had a great back to the basics training. But the advantage to those of you who are on, who've been in the business for a little while, is that this is exactly what you want to do with all of your new representatives. When you sign someone up into the business, what you want to make sure to do, give me 1 second, guys.
Do they cook your buffalo here?
All right, give me 1 second. I think for anybody who is on, make sure you're muting your phone. Because in the meantime, I have to figure out how to make sure everybody's muted. Okay, we have someone, whoever's on the phone, make sure you're muted. Okay, I think I'm muted, Nick. Okay. All right. Okay, looks like everybody's muted. All right, good. So what I want to do is, perfect. All right, so what I want to do first off, in this business of network marketing, for those people who get started and for all of our partners who are on, when you launch someone into the business, one of the first things that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're doing your best to connect them upline. So when someone's like, okay, look, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to get started, you want to launch them effectively. So one of the first things I want to quickly go through is the application process, okay? So let's just say you got someone to get started in 5 links. They're excited. They want to know how exactly you actually, I guess, launch the business. So what you're going to do is, first off, you are going to go to Opportunity. And hopefully I'm still sharing my screen. But you're going to go to Opportunity. And once you're in Opportunity, guys, you will go ahead and you will click on Start Your Business. And from there, you will basically, so a lot of times people are like, well, what are the different options? And a lot of times we don't know exactly what to tell people. We'll be kind of saying, well, I don't know how much the investment is. Really, your investment, what I always tell people is, like, after all is said and done, you're going to be investing about $300 all the way to about $1,200, depending on your starter package. So can anybody tell me first off, which screen am I showing? Let me see. Hold on. It should be not just on that quick start screen. Give me 1 second. One moment, guys. Okay, yep, I'm fine. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to tell everybody, look, your starting investment is anywhere from about $300 to about $1,200. So when people are getting started, literally just walk them through. Go to your personal website, click Opportunity, click Start Your Business, and then help them choose their package. No matter what they choose, let's say they go for the Leader Bundle Pack. They'll choose Join Now. Their investment will include not only the pack, but also their enrollment fee. So that'll be $698. They'll click Join Now. And then at that next screen, just make sure that they select Platinum Discount Network. And when people are like, well, what is it? What does it contain? You can tell them, because all you got to do is click on it, and it tells you everything that's included here. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that they select this. It is vitally important that they get Platinum Discount Network. If they select no services, the big disadvantage is that they will have to pay for their reports. They also don't get access to those discounts that we get through the company, and they start off with 0 points. I mean, there's just so many disadvantages, and the chances that they'll ever get qualified and sign up more partners dwindles significantly. So you want to make sure that you emphasize that. And then, of course, at the following screens, make sure they fill everything in. The most important thing that a lot of people tend to miss is that they leave their social security number blank. And although it says it's not required, when you click more information, it tells you that that person will be placed in a hold status. So there's so many people. The reason why I wanted to say this is that there are so many people who've gotten started in the business, yet their social security number was not keyed in, and they're just in this hold status for 1 week, 3 weeks, 5 weeks. And as long as you're in hold, they cannot get paid. So you want to make sure you emphasize that. So once someone is in, the reason why I want to go through this is because I want to walk you through not only what to do when you're new, but for all the existing reps. When you get someone in, you want to be going over this. So once they're in, they got started, they have their new RIN number, obviously they're going to have their own website. So here is obviously the website and how it looks. 1 second. And so what you'll do first off is let them know that they can run their business from their website. So let them know that all the products are right here. We have home, business, and wellness. You can remind them that. You remind them that when they want to sign up someone new, they would click on opportunity and they would click start your business, and they could actually help enroll other people. And then you could also remind them that just to make sure that it is their website, they can click contact. They would scroll halfway down the page and they see their information here. Okay. And of course they can edit their picture. That's an old picture. So anyway, the very next thing that you want to do with any new representative is you want to send them the first things first. So that would be first things first .5links.com. First things first .5links.com. You would hit enter, and you literally, and this is what I do with new representatives that that I help get started. I literally sit down and I watch this video with them. All right, this is a 7-minute video that actually loads, and it actually goes ahead and it breaks down, first things first, what you need to really launch your business in 5 links. So obviously I'm not going to play the whole thing now, but that's what you want to do with new people, okay? So that's the first things first video. I don't know how much is actually loading on the webinar, but very, very important tool that you want to use. So that being said, what's next? The next thing that you want to do is go over the 5 links quick start game plan. So if you go to your virtual office, and I'm actually going to show you how to access this, you would go to your virtual office. Let's say you're at my dashboard. I'm actually logged into one of my ND accounts, but you go to my dashboard, you would go to training, and then you go to opportunity presentation, okay? And you can literally sit down and do this with your new prospect or your new partner, or you could do it, if you're brand new and you want to go through how to launch your business effectively. So you went to training, opportunity, and it's this first option, quick start game plan, document 707. You click download, EN stands for English, and it brings it right up. So once you're at your 5 links quick start game plan, as you see there, it's very simple. It says easy as 1, 2, 3. The first step or the first phase is to share 5 links products and services. So if you're brand new in this business, understand that each product and service is given a point value. So in this particular case, let's just say this is you. Obviously, you have your own platinum discount network, but your goal is to get to 15 customer points as quickly as possible. You want to convert your house. Go through your website and make sure for all of our partners, show your new partners how to go through their website and sign up for their own services. Help them get a minimum of 8, if not to 15 customer points as quickly as possible. And also understand that you can also sign up for your own services and get these points. Second phase is to share 5 links. So when you help 2 new people get started, as long as you also have your 15 customer points and these 2 people are qualified, and that's a term meaning that they each have 8 customer points with at least 1 coming from outside their household. So if you have this requirement completed, 5 Links will pay you a $200 quick start bonus. Right now we are in a promotional period, so this is actually doubled to $400. So you want to make sure that you're emphasizing with all your new partners, look, get to 15 customer points personally, get your first 2 business partners. As long as they come in and get qualified within 30 days, that's a $200 bonus, and then that could even be more depending on the promotion. Phase 3 is to help others do the same. So once you've done this and you become an ET, your whole goal is just to help these 2 people become an ET. So help them get their 2 partners and you'll start to build an organization. Okay? So the next screen, and really the second page to this quick start plan, is to go ahead and make sure that your new partner, or if you're brand new, you're putting in the new partner's RIN right up in the upper right hand corner. Then in the My Personal Website area, you're going to go to 5links.net, put in your RIN number. You can also change this in your virtual office. Here's the number to rep services. Here's the direct link to the virtual office and to the app. Also make sure you understand who your support team is. All right, so find out from your upline, or if you are the upline, teach your new partners how to fill this in. And then also make sure all the info is here for our team call info, the day and time of the local training if there is one, the next regional training, and the next international events. Okay? Now, you also, this middle area in purple, you want to make sure you put down your why. What's the reason that you got into this business? Okay? You know, why are you doing this? And then also, of course, what are your goals? So your why, guys, needs to be deep down and needs to be burning. And one of the things where if you're struggling with motivation, it's a good idea to keep a vision board in some sort of goal book where you literally return to it every day, or obviously you would see a vision board every day if you have a poster board with images of some of the things that you want out of life. And you want to definitely keep that in front of you. That's one of the things that I use to keep myself motivated. And then also, you want to put down your goals, you know, the goals that you want to accomplish through your 5 Links business. You want to write them down. It's so powerful when you write things down. A lot of times, you know, I would kind of, you know, be resistant to writing things down, but it makes a huge difference when you're able to do that. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of time to kind of go through really what they call your 5 links to success. And this is actually reviewed in the First Things First video. You know, the repetitiveness is never a bad idea. So as it says here, number 1, you want to download the My 5 Links app. You can get it from the App Store or the Google Play Store. Become your first customer. Show your new partner how to go through their personal website and sign up for their own services as much as possible. Now, not to get things that you'll never need in that they'll never use, but, you know, how are you going to market something that you don't personally have? It's very, very important that you can demonstrate for folks how this stuff works. Then, of course, you're going to watch the First Things First video with them if you hadn't already. Number 4, help them make a list. Make sure that this list is all-inclusive. And for all of our existing partners on, you want to keep adding to your list. When was the last time you added 5 new names to your list? You know, we obviously meet people almost on a daily basis, whether it's a neighbor, coworker, friend, someone at Starbucks, you know, whomever that you might meet. Always add to your list. And for your new partners, have them start off with several names on their list and even help them make a few phone calls when they first start out. And then You also want to schedule a one-on-one training with your upline executive within the first 48 hours. Definitely want to do that. So when you get someone new, there's no point in doing this business if you don't know what you're going to do when you sign someone up. So again, here are the things that you want to help your new partners do. And then also for news, promos, and alerts, text the word 5 links to the number 55255. Okay? So now also you want to go to ET. So the way that you go ET or executive trainer, again, get 15 personal customer points. You're going to sponsor 2 qualified IMRs, and then if you do that in your first 30 days, the company's going to pay you $200, and then again, right now we are in a promotional period. So again, if you want to make sure, if you're looking at this well after October of 2016, then definitely go to promos.5links.com and see what the promo is currently. But again, ET, get 2 qualified IMRs, 15 customer points personally, and you get that bonus. Now, the last thing that I'm going to go through before we move on, because I do want to jump right into the training, is this baseball diamond. And all this basically means is when you sponsor, when you're trying to put someone into your business, when you're trying to recruit somebody, what you want to do is just remember that it's all a process of getting that prospect around the basis and into your business. So your first step is to pique them. You're going to pique their interest. One of my favorite lines to use is, are you someone who keeps your business options open? Or like it says here, are you open to additional streams of income? If you're speaking to a very close friend, you could say, hey, look, I took a look at something and I thought of you. Would love to get your opinion. Or you could say, let's say it's someone that you might look up to a little bit. You could say, hey, listen, you're very successful in business, etc. I have an idea, or I had an idea and I wanted to run it by you. Okay? And what most people are going to do, they're going to say, well, what is it? And you could tell them, look, just say, look, it's like 95% visual. I really couldn't do it justice. When can we get together? And one of the best ways to peak, if you're really nervous about answering questions, always start off, before you peak somebody, you could let them know that you're in a hurry. So if you call a cousin up on the phone, they say hello, you say, hey, listen, I was just on my way out the door, but I thought about you. I saw something and it really gave me a really, really good idea and I wanted to run it by you. When can we get together? And see, the thing is, when you're in a hurry, people tend to respect your time and they're not going to badger you with questions, and you certainly don't want to explain all the info. Your goal is to get them onto a video or some kind of tool. So again, do you keep your business options open? Another great peak line is, hey, if I found a way where we can make some money together, would you want me to tell you? Okay, I actually asked that question of somebody the other day, and she asked if it was legal. So, but she was very interested. So the thing is, whatever it is, your goal is to have them say, well, what is it, or can you tell me more? Then your goal is to actually invite them to some kind of presentation. So they can either see, presentation.5links.com. They can go. Actually, okay, let me see if I could turn my sound up. And guys, I'm sorry. Let me know if, let me see if I can make myself louder. Let me know if this is loud enough or if I need to turn my sound up. If you guys can use the Q&A feature within GoToMeeting, that'd be great. If there is a way you can text me or put it in the group me, that's fine as well if you need me to be louder, okay? I just got a message that I was a little low. Okay. So that next step is to make sure you're inviting them to a presentation. So there are different websites that we can use. Let me actually make a note right here so you guys can see it. One of the websites that you can use, and this is the one that I recommend most often than not, is presentation.5links.com. All right. This is given from the company. It really has literally all the information right then and there. The only downside to it, I would say, is that it does have a lot of info. So you may want to really help guide somebody to that particular website. That's the main presentation that we should be using. An alternative is by Platinum Senior Vice President Thomas Felder. His is at 5linkspaysme.com. And then there's another one, which is at maxlifepays.com. That's by Senior Vice Presidents Lisa and Tillman Doe. And then, of course, I have one as well, which is at pushplay123.com. There is no right or wrong presentation to use. This one is up to you. Whatever one you want to use is A-okay. They all go through the same information. It's just different people presenting it, all the same slides. But use either presentation, get them onto it, and then your next step, let's go back to the baseball diamond. Your next step, once they've seen it, is you also want to edify your upline. Now, what you can also do, guys, let's say they don't have a lot of time to watch a 15-minute presentation. You can go ahead and just have them listen to the sizzle call. The sizzle call is at this phone number that you see right here, 585-420-4582. And when they call, they actually get to listen to a pre-recorded 2-minute message. Okay? But once they've seen some sort of flavor of the presentation, then that very next step is you actually want them to speak to an upline executive to actually answer their questions. And we had a training on this a couple of weeks ago. I won't dive into depth. Lucius gave a great presentation. Executive Director Lucius Lee out of Florida gave a great training on how to do a three-way call. But what you want to do is after they've seen a presentation, most people have questions. They really want their questions answered. So what you want to say is, look, I know you got questions. I'm actually working with, one of the executives on the team. He or she is very, very knowledgeable, and I'd love to actually connect them with you. As a matter of fact, I just told them about you, and they wanted to actually just speak to you real fast if you have a moment. And your goal is, when you think about it, you just want to get them onto a tool. Once they've seen the tool, you want to get them onto an upline executive. And again, once they've seen it, let them know who you're working with. Say, hey, I'm working with one of the top executives in the company. It could be your upline executive trainer, or your upline executive director, or your national director, or yours truly. Either way, you should be connecting folks with someone else. And the reason why we do this, the reason why we don't close our own prospects, is because people tend to listen to those who they don't know. You have to edify an expert. Talk about, the fact that they're in a position to make a lot of money. Talk about the fact that they love helping people. Talk about the fact that they know 100% of the information and that they love to have fun. When you do that, you're effectively getting them onto the next step. So then once they have spoken to an upline executive, then that upline is going to go ahead and guide them to the next step. That next step could be a one-on-one meeting. It could be a private business reception. All right. If they haven't seen it already, they can see presentation.5links.com. Typically, once an upline executive has spoken to that person, usually that next step is either a webinar, or it's a private business reception, or it's a business opportunity meeting. Okay? So let's go back to our trusty cheat sheet here. So again, these are some of the presentations that you can use. We also have a webinar that takes place each and every single Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's free. And you can get yourself and any guest on this webinar, and that's at www.tupacdwebinars.com. Okay? So this is every single Monday, tupacdwebinars.com. Okay? Very, very important, great information, and it's a great way to get prospects on, even if those prospects may not even be in your state or what have you. But again, it's TupacD webinars with an S.com. A next good step is also to get them to a business opportunity meeting. We also call these BOMs or BOMs. Now, these are going on in different markets across the country. So, for instance, there's one on Mondays in Michigan, in Detroit. There's one on Tuesdays, every first and third Tuesday in the Bay Area of California, every Thursday in New York City, and so on and so forth. They take place all over the country, but that's what a BOM is, okay? Never really recommended as a first step, but it is an opportunity to see the business on a larger scale. And then we also have PBRs. A PBR is a private business reception. So as opposed to a BOM, which is a large meeting like at a hotel, PBRs are things that we need to be doing in our business all the time. So we'll be going through those in a moment. So just want to make sure you have the fundamentals. These are, again, the online presentations. You can use either one, no right or wrong one. You also have your Monday webinars, 8 p.m. Eastern, given by our Diamond Senior Vice President. His name is Tupac Derenoncourt. And then you also have your BOMs and your PBRs. And your goal, guys, when you think about it, your goal is just to get as many eyeballs onto the presentation as possible. You want to get as many eyeballs as possible on the line with your upline executive. And then your next goal, of course, is to make sure your upline, or if you're the upline, to be inviting your prospects and your partner's prospects onto the Monday webinar or to a local BOM or PBR. If you could just internalize what I just told you, you could build a massive organization. You could do what a lot of the leaders are doing on this team, which is literally just going through this process. You can, again, pique someone's interest. Hey, are you someone who keeps your business options open? Or if I found a way we can make some money together, would you want me to tell you? Or if I found, or wait a minute, what's the other one? Would you be open to a side project if it didn't affect what you were already doing? Okay? Some great scripts. Either way, once they say yes or show me more, say, well, look, it's all about, 90% visual, but, if I send you this link, will you check it out? Most people will say yes. Send them one of these links and make sure you set up a follow-up time. Once you have that follow-up time, follow up with them. When they have questions, let them know that you're working with one of the top executives on your team and that you would love to actually connect them, make that happen, and then that executive will connect them to one of these tools. Okay, so hopefully that was clear. Hopefully I wasn't too redundant. But basically, when you get a new partner involved, those are the very first two, I would say, simple steps. Send them the first things first and go over this quick start game plan, okay? All right, so now what I want to do is briefly go through the virtual office, and then we're going to jump into our trainings for the next 45 minutes or so. So when you go to your virtual office, and I have, again, this is my National Director Virtual Office. I opened up this one just so you know, because the Senior Vice President Virtual Office is a little different. So the National Director kind of mimics the same virtual office that you'll see. So basically, when you get a new partner into the business, you want to walk them through the virtual office. What I always do is I start from right to left. So I say to the new partner, great, click on my profile, make sure everything is correct. You walk that new partner through it. Even if they're brand new, even if they're over the phone, have them do it. Okay, there's all my info. All right, then click on services. Tell them that, okay, well, when you launch your business, you want to make sure that your services are there and that you're subscribed. So you want to make sure that they have their platinum discount network selected. You want to make sure that that they know that this is where they can go ahead and manage their payments and also get their information for the next international event, which will be in Atlanta. Also from here, typically I'll let them know that if they click on Media Center, that'll bring up 5links TV. If anybody goes to training, let them know that, hey, if you want to get all the details to the compensation plan, here's where they are. Go to hover over training, click compensation, and that'll bring up that information in terms of going ahead and figuring out the 2-page compensation plan breakdown, the detailed comp plan, and if they want to know what products are worth how many points and how much commission. Okay, all that is here. In the training area, you also have the opportunity presentation where you can download the presentation and work on it. And this is great for all of us existing partners because you want to know where this information is. Okay? We also have something called the ED Accountability Tracker. I could be back here all day showing you all the great things that are back here. But this is very important. Make sure they know where all this is, including the Quick Start game plan, which I just accessed. Also in reports, when you click on reports, you can use any one of these reports to go ahead and view your stats. The 2 most important reports that I show brand new representatives is personal customer. Once they select it, they hit display report, and then also running account balance. Again, they hit display report to show how much money they've made, where all that goes, and then of course to keep track of all their personal customers. Once you bring them back to the dashboard, which is that very first screen, they're back at the dashboard. And the next step is to make sure that they understand, okay, on the left-hand side, these are very important. You can literally go through these. News is where all the press releases are. 5links University is where they can go ahead and start their training. 5links TV, again, is the same as the Media Center. We also have Edit My Website where they can actually customize their website. This is where you can change your URL. This is where you can also add a picture. You can set your URL at any point in time. Let's go back to my dashboard. You can also manage and set up your email. Eventually, as they grow their business, you'll also get your 1099 tax forms. If you go down a little bit further below, this is where you can get more marketing materials, more info on your wellness stuff, your business elite. You can also access your platinum discount network back here as well. You can take some time to go through that with them as well. Okay, so you have all this info back here. Absolutely great. And that's basically the virtual office. And make sure you're sharing this information with your representatives. It will really help your business. So what I'm going to go ahead and do next, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do next, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the first main training. And first thing we're going to go through is customer acquisition. We are a customer acquisition business. And so I'm going to go through some fundamentals. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to go through some fundamentals on how to acquire customers and to do so effectively. Okay? So just understand that there's 2 aspects of customer acquisition that are very important. Number 1, it's acquiring customers. And then number 2, it's retaining customers. Okay? There's absolutely no point if we're acquiring customers, but we don't know how to keep the ones that we end up getting. It's so much easier to keep a customer than to get new ones. Okay? So now, next thing. It all starts with you. So think about what do you want and how big your why is. There are so many times where new people get started in 5links and they're nervous or you're scared, and it happened to me. I remember very early on, I didn't want to feel like I was begging anybody to be a customer or anything like that. And I would almost rather just buy everything on my own rather than get a real legitimate customer, because I just didn't like the feeling of being rejected. I didn't want to feel like, put myself out there so that someone could just say no or what is it and try to beg somebody, But what I also had to remember was how big my why was. Now for me, I didn't, I had just gotten let go from my job. I didn't have any stable source of income at all. And so my why was very big. And when you really dig down and remember why you got started in this business, then that can accomplish any inevitable how, okay? So how big is your why? Why are you on this webinar? Are you going to actually take action, or are you just going to go back to doing the same old thing? So just remember what you want, okay? And you also want to lead by example. So if you want to be a leader in this business, I don't care if you are your own IMR and you don't have a team yet, or maybe you're an executive trainer, executive director, or national director. Lead by example. So number one, sorry, I'm getting thirsty. Number one, you want to get on your own services first. Go through your own personal website, sign up for as many products and services as you can that make sense, okay? But get on your own services, then use them. See, the thing is, when you use these products and services, you can share them with other people, friends and family that you know, and you could tell them, like, just think about the last time you went to a movie or ate great food. More than likely, you told somebody how great the movie was or how good the food tasted. And chances are they probably went out and they saw the movie or tried the food. And that's because you got on your own service, and it wasn't your own service, but you used something and you shared that testimonial. It should be no different in 5 links. Use it and then share it. It's so much easier to get a customer where you can give your personal testimony as someone who says, hey, I'm not only the hair club president, but I'm also a client. Remember those hair club for men commercials? Anyway, be your own customer, use it, and then share it, okay? Your goal is to get to 25 points ASAP. If you're brand new in this business, did you know that 25 points is all you need to get to diamond? So get to 25 points. Remember, this is your business. Don't wait for someone to do it for you, because it will never happen, okay? And you got to ask for what you want. You can't just assume or hope that you're in business, people are going to come to you. You can't just hope and assume that if you put up a fancy creative Facebook post that you're going to get a new partner or rep. Never works that way. Out of all the 5 years that I've been in 5 Links, not one person has joined 5 Links from a Facebook post or become a customer from a Facebook post. You have to engage people. Just posting is not enough. You have to actually get in front of people, okay? So now, who are your customers? Your customers are family and friends, work associates, organizations you're a part of, recreational school, people you do business with, people who owe you, and people who love you. So understand, you got to make a list. And I promise you, I'm looking at all the attendees, probably everybody, every one of us, even yours truly, we could all stand to get more customers, especially on our TV service. So what you want to do is make a list. Make it all inclusive. If you haven't touched your list in at least a week, add at least 5 to 10 people on your list right now. Why not? Just understand that people can come from all these categories. It can be total strangers, people online, Facebook, meetup groups, friends, family, friends of family, could be all sorts of people. But just understand that these are the people who will eventually help you really secure a stable customer base. Okay? Always add to your list. Okay? So customers are referred to as apples. So very quickly, we have red apples. These are people who are very approachable and easygoing. They are usually easy, they love you, and they usually say yes. These are the people you want to spend 80% of your time with. All right, so for instance, my first red apple was my mom, okay? Initially, she was like, I don't know, but then she was like, you know what? If it's going to help you in your situation, she knew about my why, obviously. She was more than willing to help, and she was willing to try out some of the services. And that's who you're going to spend most of your time with, because not only will they be a customer on multiple products and services, but also they'll probably refer some people. So eventually my mother and father, actually, my father jumped aboard a little bit late, but he also became a customer. And then they actually helped me get a couple of commercial customers. So you want to make sure you go ahead and spend most of your time with the red apples. Like it says, spend 80% of your time here. Okay? Green apples are not as good as red apples, but these are people who have questions and are willing to help but need more information. A great goal to make sure you're not wasting time is to only answer 3 questions, then determine if they're serious or wasting your time, and then refer them to your personal website for more information if they keep asking a ton of questions. Okay? So you want to spend only 20% of your time with green apples because, again, they tend to ask a ton of questions. So don't spend all day trying to quench the thirst of a green apple where you could be finding another red apple. Okay? And then you have your rotten apples, people who are negative and won't support you. This is very easy. Spend 0% of your time here. Okay? The rules of engagement is to know why you need their support, learn how the products work, think both residential and commercial, invest in marketing materials, and understand want versus need. All right, here's what this means, guys. Very simple. Understand why you need their support. What is your why? Your why could be the fact, I know we have some parents on the line. If you're a parent, your why is simple. You're trying to make sure that you get your kids through school. You're trying to make sure that you want them to come out of school without Fannie Mae or Sally Mae knocking on their door. If you have an older parent, your goal is to definitely make sure that you have a means, if it's not already taken care of, you have some great means in making sure that they're taken care of. Or maybe your why is even more personal just to you. It could just be your personal situation. But a lot of times when we ask for something, and this is kind of skipping down to the bottom, we ask for what we want instead of what we need, or vice versa. You know what I mean? But a lot of times when people get something, they get what they want and they beg for what they need. Okay? So if you understand that, just understand that you have to really appeal to people. First off, appeal to their emotional side, which we'll get to in a minute. But appeal to their emotional side, but remind them of why you really need them to become your customer. Because if you try to get somebody on a price, like you say, hey, we got the cheapest around, well, guess what? You might get them on a price, but then you'll lose them as soon as Verizon or Comcast goes on sale. So you don't want to just get them on price. You want to get them on loyalty. Also, understanding how the products work, it's very simple. Get them for yourself, and then you're able to demonstrate them to others. When you think residential and commercial, think about not only the people who you know who are residential customers, but think about anybody who owns a business. That can turn into big dollars. And of course, investing in the marketing materials. Enough said with that. So approach customers using a script. What typically I'll say to someone if I want someone to be a customer, especially if they're close to me, I'll say, look, could you please do me a favor, help me out, and try a service. Favor, help, and try, okay? And you want to sort for red apples, assist with residential customer enrollment, and the same thing with commercial customer enrollment. What I've learned, here's the key thing on this slide. What I've learned is people will not sign up on their own for anything. It won't happen. You're going to have to sit down with somebody and schedule an appointment. And if you don't, you're going to be frustrated. If you're trying to figure out how come I don't have my 25 points, it's because you're literally not sitting down with people and assisting them in the enrollment process. It's very, very key. All right. Now, you want to check the status in your virtual office and your personal customer report after you've signed someone up. Usually it pops up in there within 12 to 24 hours for most of the services. Also, follow up with them to ensure their satisfaction. Make sure that they're happy with the product and service. And then, of course, you want to ask for referrals. All right? Attitude is everything. You got to be excited. Woo! Especially when you show TV. So one of the things that I want to impart upon all you guys is get TV, T-E-E-V-E-E. Download it in your Android, Google Play Store, or your App Store. Also, make sure that you get the Roku box, and you go ahead and get that, or the stick, and be excited about it. Share it, And when you share it, let them know, like, look, this is changing everything. And plus, you can get free service. Free, yes, free, and it's legal. All you have to do is refer 10 other people. And there's no contract, no credit check. And our plans are as low as $50 a month. Okay? Speak with excitement. Have a sense of urgency. A great way to use this is to say, hey, look, I have a goal. I just need 2 more customers by Friday. It's my own personal goal. Could really, really, really appreciate you if you could be one of the 2. Can you help me out? Do me a favor, help me out, try a service, and then be serious and professional. And by doing this, you're going to get residual income for the rest of your life. Like we already said, we reviewed this, but establish a sense of loyalty by building or leveraging relationships. You want to offer services from the heart and not necessarily from logic, okay? So you got to use emotion. I'm doing this because of my why. I'm doing this because of my kids. I'm doing this because of my parents. I'm doing this because that's what you want to do, okay? So here are the words that work: favor, help, and try. I need a huge favor. Help me out. Try one of my services. For commercial customers, if you know any business owners, here are some great lines. If I could save you money on your bill, could we do business together? All I need is a copy of your bill, and our experts will analyze it and see how much we can save you. So if you have any specific questions on scenarios, let me know. But I definitely want to go ahead and move on. But just remember, this is the last slide. Some will, some won't. So what? Call the next red apple, okay? So hopefully, and then we got power hours. These produce volume, creates a winning environment, and helps your organization. A power hour is as you're building your teams. Power hour is when you all can kind of get into a room. It's like an incubator session. You could have like a little fun cash prize, or the person who wins, gets all the money in the pot. Maybe everybody can chip in $5 or $10. And then everybody just calls friends, family, relatives, strangers, cousins, whatever, right? And the person who gets the most customers at the end of that hour, or whatever the allotted time is, gets all the money or the prize that's in the pot. It helps your whole organization. So if you're an executive trainer, executive director, or national director, and you have folks in your market, even if you have people over the phone, we've done them as a team as well, then definitely do power hours. They will really help stir excitement in your business. And like we already said, keeping a customer is just as important as getting one. So just invest the time in it. This includes cards, checking in on people, wishing them happy birthday, happy anniversary, and just saying hello. Okay? And which customers that stick? People who are satisfied, people who use it, people who are loyal to you, and people you build a relationship with. Okay? Little things make a huge difference, like we just discussed. Ask them how they're enjoying the service, and are there other services that could benefit them. This is what makes 5links way above other companies, because we have so many services that we can get existing customers on. So again, make your why strong. Your goals is to be PSVP qualified. That means having 25 points minimum and eventually getting into the 50 and 100 customer clubs. Remind you that these clubs pay between $250 and $500 per month. And then work with your team. Together, everyone achieves more, acquiring customers that stick, okay? So I'm going to take a little break. Let me see if I look good. Let's do camera time, okay? Hopefully I don't break anything. What's up, guys? So I'm actually logged in here in my living room, and I am doing this presentation. Want to do a quick break before we move into the next session, okay? So wherever you guys are right now, definitely want to make sure that you guys get this information, the quick start info. You want to make sure you get that to your new partners, the customer info. We all need to be doing this on a continual basis. The very, very simple process is, number one, it's like 2 steps. Number one, become your own customer, particularly with TV. TEEVEE, go to TEEVEE TV. And then what you want to do is you want to click on existing representative. Sign yourself up today if you're not already on. Get the service, because when you get it, you could be in the supermarket on your phone. People will be like, well, what is that? And literally you could start signing people up. You could register them or at least get their information. Become your own customer, because then once you're your own customer on anything, it's so much easier to go ahead and get new customers. Get your smart builders, get that stuff. So hopefully I didn't bore you with this video. I'm now going to turn off this screen because I feel weird. Okay, let me stop sharing that. All right, guys. So now I'm back on my desktop. We're going to go into prospecting. Prospecting, I would say this is basically your gateway to doing any sort of home-based business, especially 5 links. You have to build a large team. The thing is, here's the significance. Excuse me, guys. The significance of prospecting is that you can get as many customers as you want, which is great. You need customers. You personally need to have at least 25 customer points. But after that, your goal, of course, you have the 50 and 100 customer clubs, but you really want to have a team, because if you just had a team of everybody getting their 25 points, you can make millions upon millions of dollars, okay? So when you prospect, you definitely want to do that. The best example that I love to give is, like, let's just take Beyonce. If Beyonce just recorded one song and that song only played on one radio station in Houston, Texas, where she's from, she's only going to make so much money. She's probably going to make maybe 8 cents per spin, and that song might spin 10 times a day. That's 80 cents a day. That's okay money, but that's not mansion money, okay? But and that's similar to you being in 5 links and not having anybody on your team. 80 cents a day is only going to take you so far. But instead of that one station with all those plays, you have 20 stations. Okay, it's a little bit more significant now. Instead of 80 cents a day, that's like 16 bucks a day. It becomes better, okay? But instead of those 20 stations, let's say you have distribution like Beyonce, where you literally have 20,000 stations spinning your record a couple of times a day. Still at those 8 cents, but now you're making millions upon millions of dollars in royalties. And so it's the same thing in this company. You want to make sure you have a large team, because without a large team, you can't build a huge distribution force of customers. Now, I think personally, us as a team, we're getting paid on well over 3,000-4,000 customers. A lot of customers. But did you know that, for instance, Diamond Senior Vice President Tupac Derencourt, the reason why he makes 6 figures a month is because he's literally getting paid on hundreds of thousands of customers. If you want to do that, learn prospecting. I'm going to share how to do that, okay? So when you're prospecting, your first step is to make a list. You want to make this all exhaustive. If you haven't recruited anybody in a while, start doing this now, okay? Start making this list to identify potential partners. Remember, this is your working capital. Write it down on paper or print it out. And always give people the opportunity to say no. We make too many decisions for people, and we don't even ask them if they would be open to ways of making extra money. We don't say to them, hey, if I found a way for us to make money together, would you be open to learning more? Would you want me to tell you? Now, remember, guys, never say, would you be interested? And I would say, don't call this an opportunity, because those are buzzwords that turn people off, okay? Don't say, would you be interested in an opportunity? That's 2 strikes. Use the words, I love the words, would you be open? When you say something like, would you be open? No one likes to be known as someone who's closed. Everybody wants to appear open. So ask, do you keep your business options open? Or would you be open to earning extra income? Or you could say, instead of opportunity, say idea or say project, but don't say opportunity. It turns a lot of people off, okay? I know it's a kind of a habit that people have in this profession, but try to stay away from the word opportunity. Use project or idea. Okay, and again, don't prejudge when creating your list. I promise you there are people who are very close to you. You would be so mad if they got started in 5links, but guess what? You wouldn't have a right to be, because in many instances, we're not approaching those people. Give people the chance to say no, okay? Those you think will do the business won't do it, guys. Remember that? But also remember, those you think won't do the business will do the business. And those you think that can do it, they probably can't do it. And then vice versa. Those you think can't do it probably can. So again, the message is do not prejudge. If you're looking for someone who possesses the qualities to be successful in this business, understand who has WHIP. What does WHIP stand for? The W stands for work ethic. The H stands for someone who is hungry. The I stands for someone who has a high level of integrity. And P stands for someone who has personal power. So when you think about all that, someone who has a hard work ethic, maybe someone who works really hard, someone who's thorough, someone who cleans a lot, someone who works long hours, they have work ethic. Someone who's hungry, maybe someone who's goal-driven, money motivated, etc. Someone who has a high level of integrity, someone who keeps it honest, who keeps it funky, who tells you when you have a booger in your nose or spinach in your teeth, right? And then you have someone who has personal power, someone who, when they walk into a room, just feel their energy. These are people who are typically very successful. Just keep that in mind as you're building your list. And when you're piquing interest, we discussed this a little bit before, but when you're doing this, your goal is to get a yes. Don't explain 5links. Oh my gosh. This is like the biggest thing that gets most of us into trouble. We start over-explaining it. We start to say, well, it's a home-based business where you can earn money by helping people save money on their products and services. And plus we have TV, we got this, we got that. And then now they're asking you questions. And now you're like in this long drawn-out conversation. And then they never end up getting started because you know what? Even if you would do a great job at explaining it, what they're asking themselves is, can I do what they just did to me? And most times the answer is no. When someone gets in or when someone's looking at this, they don't have the same level of expertise that you might have. But instead, if you say, hey, I'm a little bit busy, I'm on my way to a meeting, but if I found a way for us to make some money together, would you want me to tell you? They say, yeah, sure. What is it? I would say, look, well, you know, like I said, I'm on my way to a meeting. Plus, it's like 90% visual. If I send you this presentation, when can you check it out? They'll say, well, I can look at it in the next hour. Great. So if I follow up with you about 4:30, you would have seen it for sure. They say yes. I say, great. I'll talk to you then. Here's the link. Boom. Send them to presentation.5links.com or 5linkspaysme.com or maxlifepays.com or pushplay123.com. Whatever it is, send them to one of those links. And then as soon as you get off the phone, let your upline know or find an available upline who can answer that prospect's questions. And then when you get them back on the line, say, look, you know, they're going to have questions. They'll say, well, I like this. I like that. I saw the video. I got this. I got questions. I got da-da-da-da-da. You say, look, I'm working. Great question. I'm working with one of the top people in the business. I just got off the phone with him or I just got off the phone with her. She's dynamic. Her name is Linda Ransom. She's very soon to be senior vice president in this company. Do you have a quick moment? Love to put you on the line with them. Boom. She can answer all your questions. Once they say yes, connect the line, step out of the way, put yourself on mute. Your goal, guys, when you're piquing interest, don't explain it. I know I ran through everything, but just don't explain it. Okay. Your goal is to keep them curious. The less you say, the more success you'll have. Your excitement and enthusiasm are more important than your knowledge. Remember that. Here's some examples. We already went through these. Hey, are you open to making additional income above and beyond your current career? Again, you keep your business options open. Would you be open to a side project if it didn't affect what you were already doing? There you go. Do you keep your business options open? Next one. If I could show you how to make money every time someone makes a phone call, purchases a cell phone, it's a little outdated. Here's the point, guys. Your goal is to get a yes, okay? Now, when you're inviting people, So look at the information. If you don't know exactly what verbiage to use, utilize this. FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, and money. I like that. That was cool. Family is, hey, so how's the family doing or how have you been? Occupation is, hey, how's the job going? Recreation is, hey, I know the holidays are coming. What do you got planned? You got any vacations planned? You staying in town? And then M finally stands for money. And what ends up happening, guys, when you just have a regular conversation with somebody, they'll express what's hurting them. They'll express areas of discontent. So if you say, hey, how's the family going? They'll say, well, family's good, but I wish I could see them more. I'm always at work. Or when you say, hey, how's the job going? Most people will say, what? It's a job. It's okay. Sometimes they'll say, hey, the job is great. But then you'll move on to recreation. You'll say, hey, so you going anywhere? When's your next trip to Hawaii? Most people are like, yeah, right. I don't even have any time off from my job. Or, man, I would go, but trips are so expensive, and they are. Man, like Thanksgiving prices, crazy, right? And so the thing is, people are going to be expressing their hot buttons. They're going to be saying what is kind of hurting them. So if you're just having regular conversation surrounding form, family, occupation, recreation, and money, typically people will start to express what's hurting them. Okay? And here's a quick, nice little tidbit. Have your 5 links business cards. My goal, I never give out a card without getting someone's contact info. And really an appointment to follow up. Never give a card without getting a card, or at least getting their name, email, and hopefully phone number. Okay? Great rule. If your prospect is interested in getting more information, invite them to listen to the 3-minute recorded opportunity overview. If you want to write that down, again, it's at 585-420-4582. Again, 585-420-4582. And then invite them to a 3-way call with your upline leader. And then you can leave any kind of tool with them for 48 hours. Your goal is, don't ask, tell them, look, you need to be there, or you need to be on this call, or you need to check this out. The thing is, if you're adamant and you're confident, you'll be surprised at how better your results get, okay? Again, use urgency. You can even tell the way that I'm presenting to you, you want to move with a certain kind of urgency. If you're unsure about your business, if you're unsure about yourself, your results aren't going to be too great. So the thing is, use urgency. Now, the first term here is kind of funny. You have your warm market ducks. Now notice what ducks do. Ducks follow each other. They quack an affirmation. They usually follow each other in a straight line. And I promise you, you probably have a homegirl or a homeboy or a best friend or a very good confidant, or maybe a sister who's with you everywhere, or a brother who's with you everywhere. Each one of us, we have someone in our life who probably just follows us to a certain extent. I'll never forget, I did a grand opening for someone, and her best friend really had no interest in the business. But when this person had her grand opening and she got in, her best friend was like, well, she's going to do it, I'll do it. And the thing is, that's what a duck is. Each one of us has ducks. We have people who would join the business just because we're in. And if you haven't recruited anybody, if you don't know who your duck is, start sharing this thing. And I promise you're probably going to have somebody in your inner circle who's going to join just because you're doing it. They don't want to be left out. That's what a duck is. Have a sense of urgency with your ducks, okay? And everybody knows at least one person that will enroll in 5 links just because. So keep that in mind. Have passion, okay? And just notice this whole business is about duplication. Doing things that can easily be duplicated by other people, like bringing them to a briefing, all right? Or like holding an in-home PBR, private business reception. Things like having a presentation on a DVD, having a website, which all of us have, or sending them to a website, and then of course, inviting them to a conference call. So in summary, share this opportunity with everybody you come into contact with, and know and understand that the law of large numbers will never fail you. Remember that some will, Some will, some will, okay? Your income will hit levels you never thought possible if you keep this in mind, okay? So that was prospecting. So guys, I'm about to go into the last part. Hope you're holding on with me. Hold on with me. I promise. I'm trying to get this done in time. I'm trying to make sure we hammer out the fundamentals and make sure that we understand exactly how to build this business, and then start asking your questions, because I want to make sure I answer your questions. I don't have to identify you. When you ask your question, only I can see it. Not everybody sees it. Ask your questions, and I'll make sure I go over some topics for you guys, okay? So the last thing that we're going to discuss, let me get my face off here. Last thing that we're going to go ahead and discuss are PBRs, which stands for private business receptions. For me, this has always been probably one of my most challenging, I won't say my least favorite, but I'll say my most challenging things, because when I first got started in this business, I was very leery of people coming to my house. That was number one. And then number two, I lived far from most of the people that I knew. So I created all these stories in my head why I didn't want to do a private business reception. But here's the important thing, guys. Excuse me. Your private business reception is nothing more than a grand opening. And you want to have grand openings all the time. How many furniture stores that we know, or restaurants that we know, that have had the same grand opening ribbon on for more than a month or 3 months or even a year? Every time I've gone back to Poughkeepsie, New York, there's a place on South Road called Raymore and Flanagan Clearance Center. And they've been grand opening, grand reopening, and store closing soon every time I drive by. It's always the same thing. They always got one of those ribbons on, and that's because it drives more business in. Ladies and gents, how are you going to build 5 links if you're not calling attention to it? You need to be telling people. And again, I want to emphasize this. Please, please, you are not going to build a long-lasting business just by making posts on Facebook. It is not going to work. You're going to have to get people on the phone. You're going to have to, if you're bringing in people from the internet, fine. But you're going to have to close the gap. And this is Mr. Social Media talking to you. I've never signed up one person off a Facebook post. Never got one single customer off a Facebook post. Everything, I mean, you can generate interest. You can get a couple of likes. But you're going to have to go from that like to an inbox conversation. From an inbox conversation, you're going to have to get to a phone call. And you're going to have to make it so that people feel like they know, like, and trust you. But you're going to have to tackle that fear of having an in-person conversation or a one-on-one conversation. You're going to have to do it. And the private business reception is that one constant in network marketing that works. When you get people into your dens in your living rooms, when you get a one-on-one presentation, even if it's at a Starbucks, when you have that personal time, or even over the phone, or when you can just really get the sense that you're getting to know somebody, that's when your business will really grow. Until then, it's going to stay stagnant. So let's jump into private business receptions. First off, why do it? Every new business has a grand opening, like we said. It introduces your warm market to new IMRs in the business, and it is your opportunity to get business partners and customers into your opportunity, okay? So make sure you are having your own grand opening, okay? So make sure you're doing that, okay? So then also, this is your fastest way to achieve the executive training bonus and earn your $200, okay? If not more. This is how you do it. If you have a living room, I don't care if, first off, you have to invite a lot of people. But if you invite 40 people, 10 say they're coming, and only 5 show up, guess what? That's 5 people looking at the information at the same time. Your chances of hitting executive trainer are much higher than if you start trying to contact people one by one. You want to do as many grand openings as possible. If you want to know how people have hit senior vice president so quickly or earned these big bonuses, it's because they're doing these grand openings at least once a week, if not more than that. There are people in 5 links who've done them for every day for 60 days. Very, very tough. But It could put you on a level that you will never ever have been on, or that you've never been on before, okay? It creates the new representative success story. Every new IMR needs to have a PBR, and it creates momentum, okay? Schedule your PBR within 10 days of the IMR start date. So you should be having one within your first 10 days. If you put someone in the business, tell them, look, have a grand opening. I don't even want 10 days. Do it within 3 to 5 days. Do it fast, even if it's messed up, even if it's not organized, even if they don't have all their products or services or brochures, make sure you help them do one. It's better to have a messed up one and to get some practice in versus to wait until the 29th day to have the perfect grand opening. And guess what? It's going to rain. It's going to snow. There's going to be an earthquake. It's going to be a hurricane. Something's going to happen. I remember many times in 5 Links where someone's like, look, Ricardo, I got it. Don't worry. I know everybody in Harlem. They're all going to be here. And guess what? We go to the grand opening on the 29th day. It's a rainy, dreary day. And one person shows up. And that one person is late. And then that person says, oh, I already know about 5 Links. It didn't work for me. And then they leave. See, the thing is, if you try to do it your own way, you follow your own system, you're going to get less than par results, okay? Where should the grand opening be? Number one choice, the new IMR's home. Always the best choice. I don't care if your home is too big, too small, if it's a closet, if you have 12 roommates, if you live in a really humble place. The thing is, guys, when you're in a humble place, if it's really small, if you don't have any chairs, if you have one chair, then tell all your guests, if you're the first one to arrive, I got a special surprise. And then when they get there, that first person has the chair. Everybody else has to stand. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a grand opening. If you don't have a TV, everybody huddling around a laptop. It's fine. You know why? Because those last few people who get to your grand opening, they're going to be like, what's going on in here? Because it's going to be packed. It's going to be standing room only. Not everybody can fit in. The door's literally hitting someone in the back. That's what you want. You don't necessarily need everybody to be comfortable. But you want everybody, when they get there, the feeling that you want them to have is that, man, if he can do it in his tiny studio, 1-bedroom apartment, then I can do it. That's what you want to do. We've done grand openings in dorm rooms where people have to sit on the bed. Do what you got to do, but make sure you're having these. All right. Second place to have it, if that doesn't work, is the sponsor's home, also an office or a coffee shop, but always preferably in the new IMR's home. That's where you have a grand opening. Your invite script, you can use a script and use a 2-minute peak call. My preference is that you just say, look, you need to be there. And you could tell somebody, look, here are different things that have worked. We've had partners who've said, hey, I have a big announcement. Can't tell you yet, but I'm inviting all my close friends and family. It's going to be Saturday at 10 a.m. Can you come? Need you to be there. It's very, very important. Only be about an hour. If you don't want to say I have an announcement, you could say, look, having a grand opening for my brand new family business. It's very important. I'm going to have free samples, but listen, Joe, you're my favorite cousin. It would mean everything if you could be there. Is there a way that you can drop whatever you're doing on Saturday or whatever you're doing on Monday evening or whenever your grand opening is? Invite them over. Here's what you don't want to do. Don't tell them that you're going to have another one in another week. Don't tell them you're going to have, hey, if you can't make this one, you can make that one. Don't ever say, hey, when can you be by the house? Don't leave it open-ended. You're much better off setting something definite and having that person say, I can't make it. And then they say, well, are you going to have another one? Then you say, well, you know what? Hopefully, I don't know, but I'll get back to you. You're almost better leaving it that way because you want them to feel a fear of loss. Because when you do have another one and invite them, chances are they'll show up. But if you say, hey, I'm doing one every Tuesday at 9, can you make it this Tuesday? No. Can you make it the next Tuesday? No. The thing is, they don't have a sense of urgency to show up. But if they don't know if you're ever going to have another one, then their chances of showing up or finding a way to make it are that much higher. You definitely got to do that. Again, don't prejudge. Invite everybody and then send professional invitations to all guests. That definitely does help. It's not required, but it definitely does help. and provide clear directions and a time. Now here's your expectation, guys. Invite and send out 30 to 40 invitations. Nothing less. You want to over-invite. What if your place could only hold 5 people? Send out 30 to 40 invites. What if your place only holds you and one other person? Send out 30 to 40 invites. What if 30 to 40 people show up, which is not going to happen, but let's just say it happened. Guess what? You have a high quality problem. Just form a line, and everybody who comes in, share the presentation with everybody who can see it. The way that you share it, again, just go ahead and make sure you send them a link to the presentation, or share the link to the presentation if you're not ready to present it, or if your upline can't come. Just share the presentation. Don't let anybody or anything stop you from doing this. All right? Now, the sponsor should confirm guests the day before the PBR. That is the best way to do it. Don't try to confirm your own guests. So for instance, let's say you're having your grand opening. Let's say it's going to be this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. By Tuesday afternoon, your upline sponsor should get your list of everybody who's coming. Send your upline sponsor their name and their phone number. Put it in an email or in a text and say to your upline sponsor, can you please confirm my guests? Your upline sponsor should be calling each one of your guests 24 hours before the event and to say, hey, is this Mary? Mary says yes. Who is this? Say, hey, great. My name is Ricardo Suber. I'm actually working very closely with Lucius Lee. He's very, very excited about you coming to his grand opening tomorrow. And I just wanted to make sure that you had the address. Are you sure that you're going to be able to make it? Because it's going to be a really big deal, and he's definitely looking forward to you coming. And the thing is, if Lucius confirmed his own guests in this example, the chances that they would come is maybe 5 or 10%. If I confirm them on behalf of Lucius, their chances of coming, instead of being 5 to 10%, it's like 50 to 60%. Not 100%, but like you see right there, expect about 60% of confirmed guests to attend. Okay? Now, in order to get, let me see, okay, it's not there. In order to get that 60% up to 90%, once they've been confirmed by another person, then the day of the event, you, whoever that person is who's having the grand opening, you want to actually confirm your own guests again the day of. And the best way to do it is to actually say to someone, hey, on your way over, it's so important to me. Can you pick up my bag of my favorite Doritos? I'm so nervous. Here's an example. This is what one of our other partners uses. Excuse me. What you can actually say is, look, I get really nervous at these things, or I really have a taste in my mouth for some Cool Ranch Doritos, or something really trivial, or you know what? I have everything, but I don't have paper towels. Can you please get me paper towels? I really need them for this event. Can I count on you to bring them? If you ask everybody to bring something that's really important, but something that's easy, like small, trivial, cheap, their chances of coming go through the roof. So I promise you, if you invite them properly, you send them an invitation, then a day before you have an upline confirm them, then the day of, you confirm, hey, do you have the directions? Hey, by the way, on your way, can you please pick me up Cool Ranch Doritos? I really need them. We're all counting on the Cool Ranch. Can you please stop by the grocery store and get them? That 60 becomes 90%. Okay? Now, when you set up, always put out fewer seats than you think you'll need. It's always better to have people standing up than to have empty seats. Remember that. Set up, it says set up flip chart. Set up your your TV, right? Make sure you have your presentation set up. Cool the room for comfort. Don't cook. Please don't cook. Only have finger foods like pretzels, chips, dip. Make it simple and duplicatable. All right? Start on time. Don't keep the meeting going long just so you're waiting for that special guest. But instead, keep maybe one empty seat or maybe some space near the door so that if someone comes late, they're not interrupting everybody. All right? Keep the meeting under 1 hour for best results and never any alcohol. All right? This is what do you call it? This is self-explanatory, but use only corporate approved material like the opportunity slides, magazines, flip charts, etc. Here's how a presentation should go. In the beginning, the new IMR shares his or her story, their why, and their excitement. Then the new IMR introduces and edifies the guest speaker or speakers. Just to kind of warm everybody up, especially if there's not a lot of people, have the guests introduce themselves and what they do for a living, and then the speaker will deliver the presentation. Now, when you close, the guest speaker will always go through the 3 types of people. So for the first type of person, if they don't see an opportunity for themselves, help them become a customer. It's always best to have a tablet or a laptop set up so that you can actually convert them to a customer right away, okay? Favor, help, try, okay? Type 2 has questions. So get them, refer them to your personal website, and you can actually have the guest speaker answer their questions, preferably one-on-one. And then type 3, they see the opportunity. Please sign them up immediately. Don't talk them out of the opportunity. Don't be too nervous to sign them up. And here's where I want to break, guys, and say, look, have copies of the paper application prior to every private business reception. Have a few of them out, and also have a computer set up so that you know how to sign them in. If they say, hey, look, I can't get started until Friday, have them fill out a paper application, but at the top of it, make sure that they put process on and then that date. All right? So we had a business partner who actually recently got started that same way. We had her put process on the date that we wanted it to process on, and then as soon as that date came, we went ahead and signed her up, okay? Then, of course, after the presentation, take a 2 to 5 minute break and SWAT the room. That basically stands for Special Winning Attitude Team. SWAT stands for Special Winning Attitude Team. So if you're there with other business partners, you want to make sure that you are searching for those who are interested versus those who aren't. The people who are interested, keep them behind for like a quick start and help them get signed up as a customer or partner. And those who aren't interested, guide them to the food or preferably out of the house, okay? Oh, and I just broke that down. Again, SWAT stands for Special Winning Attitude Team. You got all this stuff, but basically, if they see an opportunity, yes, promote the quick start. No, move them to the food or out of the house. You'll have 3 results, either new partners, new customers, or referrals. That's it. New partners, new customers, or at least referrals. All right. Now, these are what PBRs do. They create massive momentum. They're simple, and they're duplicatable. And those are private business receptions. Guys, this concludes like the training, and we're done before the top of the hour. What I want to do is take this time to answer questions, comments. Are there any specific things that you would like for me to go over? Please try to ask your question. Just type a message. I haven't gotten one message, guys. Can anybody type a message to me just to show me if this thing works or not? Because I don't know if it works. Could someone type a question, comment, concern? Could someone put a smiley face in the chat box? Anybody, somebody scream? I'd appreciate it. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for a question or a comment, okay, good. All right, great. Thank you, Derek. I see a question, and I see Olivia. Great job. Thank you so much, guys. If there are any questions or comments I can answer before we close out, that'd be great. The last thing I guess I will say is I want to review TV with you guys, just so you really understand how important and vital this is. I hope every one of you on this webinar is on TV. I can actually go into the back office and see who's on, but I won't do that to you guys live. I won't shame anybody. But what I will say is that you got to get on this service. So if you haven't done it already, please do this. I want you to go. Okay, good. I have some questions. Okay, here's a question. Good. I'm glad you asked this, Clarissa. Okay, off topic. When introducing a TV customer, when they say I don't have cable TV, what should I say next? Well, the first thing that you want to do, and I don't know if you have it whether or not you have it, Clarissa, but you want to have TV personally. If you have TV personally, and if you show them how yours works, I promise you it's going to be so much easier to get them as a customer. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to tell them exactly how it works. You literally, here's what I do, okay? When getting a TV customer, go to www.tv.tv / and then your RIN, okay? So I'm putting in my RIN. I'm going to TV. Make sure this is a brand new window. And then when they're a brand new TV customer, or when you're signing up as TV first off, you can just go to tv.tv / your RIN number, watch the video with them, hit play, and then let them watch the video, okay? And literally sit down with it, and then once they watch the video, if they want to know more how it works, first off, what I would do is I would just show them my account. So, for instance, case in point, all right, now I'm going to go back to my video. So I know it might be a little bit slow, but here's what I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys my TV. Let's say you're my prospect. I'm going to say, listen, you got to see something. How much are you paying on your cable bill? Most people are going to be like 150, 200 a month. Or they'll say, I don't have cable TV. I'll say, well, look, let me show you something. And I'll go to my TV. You know, of course you have to download it, but this is what TV looks like. Right there, my TV. Click on it. It's going to pop up. I'm going to hit login, right? Login successful. And this is on an iPhone. It looks much prettier on an Android, but on an iPhone, you have all the functionality. You see the channel lineups and everything. You hit channels. You see all the channels. You can actually show them that you can scroll, right? And then I'm going to go to CNN because typically I watch too much CNN. I'm going to go to CNN, or okay, instead of going to CNN, let me go to a local news channel. I guess this is football. So I'm going to load TV. So while it's loading, clean up my phone. So while it's loading, I'll be like, look, this is crazy because you can get this on your phone, on your television, on your computer, because it's about to come out on computer, on your tablet, and you can bring it with you. Oh, whoops, I got my, let me turn off. Okay. And so you got this with you. So look, now I got TV up on here. I have my go-to meeting on here too. But literally you have this in high definition. This is just loading right now, I guess connecting to my Wi-Fi. But you have this in high definition, and I will show this to people. You don't put it on social media. Don't put it in a post. You're not supposed to in this company anyway. You want to show this to people live and in person. And look at that.
You should punt the ball, trust the defense. And when you look at their offense, they only have Julio Jones and those two running backs, Coach.
Yeah, to me, you have to punt that football, pin them down there, put the pressure on San Diego to drive the length of the field.
Let this do the talking. You don't really have to explain it. You just let them know, look, no contract, no credit check. There's only 2 plans. You're paying under $70 a month, even for the highest plan. And boom. Don't explain it. So with TV, the goal is, guys, with TV, don't explain it. Don't try to be a magician with your words. Make sure you get the service first. If you get it, it's so much easier to get somebody as a customer. So in order to sign yourself up, if you haven't signed up, go to tv.tv, click Are You a 5 Links Representative? You're going to click here, and you're going to follow the sign-up process. Once you are signed up, let's say someone else is interested. They're like, I want this too. Go back to your personal website, click Want to sign up as an affiliate. You're going to do this with all of your customers. Every customer must be an affiliate, and this is free. You'll be able to sign up, and you'll be able to refer other people if they want to. And this video actually explains it with how to become an actual TV affiliate, okay? And so just make sure that you sign them up. Sorry, guys. Make sure you sign them up. Here's where they put their info. Make sure your RIN number is down here, and then click Create Account. I know we have some people on the phone, So for those of you guys who are on the phone, again, go to teevee.tv / your RIN number. Okay? All right. So then we have a question. So just show them tv.tv and show them the app. Yes, exactly. Show them TV. Show them how you watch it. The easiest way to, or the clearest way to demonstrate it is invite someone over your house and make sure you have the TV installed on your television. Make sure you have the app. Make sure you have it set up. Have it play live television, and it's just so much easier to sign them up as a customer. So hopefully that helps. I just want to impart upon all of you guys that the best way to do this business, to get a customer, is to already have it, demonstrate how great it is and the features, and then to get a customer or to get a business partner, pique their interest, ask them if they keep their business options open. Once they say yes or what is it, let them know it's all visual. Send them to one of these websites, presentation.5links.com, 5links pays me, Max Life pays, or PushPlay123. Get them on the line with your upline exec. Your upline exec will invite them to one of our weekly webinars, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then we will keep them in the process, keep them in the funnel, make sure they stay up to date until they enroll. So the last thing, guys, if we don't have any other questions, we do have a team conference call at 8:30. This is typically a good opportunity to get your guests on this as well. The recording will be available through through about maybe 8 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. But our conference call, which is from Team Power, this is with Diamond, SVP, Tupac, Durenencourt. Okay, that number is area code 641-715-3655, and the PIN code is 118279#. And then if you're like, well, Ricardo, there are all these different conference calls. How do I ever know when our conference calls are? To get the full listing of all of our conference calls, print this out. Has all of our conference calls listed. You never need any more playbacks, none of that. You don't need anybody to remind you. Everything is listed right here at tinyurl.com/epic team calls. Again, tinyurl.com/epic team calls. Okay, guys? So I really hope that this webinar has been helpful for you guys in just going through the fundamentals. Again, just make sure that you're helping your new partners learn this information. And as you progress in leadership, I want you guys to be able to teach these same concepts. Let's just keep it simple. Always master the basics before moving on to the extravagant. So that being said, guys, I'm going to try to make this recording available to the team. But until then, God bless. Have a wonderful night. Oh, and this conference call actually starts in 24 minutes from now. If you're watching live, it starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Central, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And that's the Team Power conference call. This happens every Sunday at this time. So if you're looking at this as a recorded session, every Sunday at this time. So that being said, guys, God bless. This webinar is officially over. Thank you for attending, and we are out of here. Take care, guys.